Welcome to the very first edition of our fun new series, Paint Like a Pro, brought to you by Peak Brothers Painting. I'm here with the one and only John Peak, master painter. And you know, John, I feel like we need to be sitting here with our little cups of coffee like the Today Show, but instead of coffee, we have lots of paint to talk about.
You bet.
And if for anyone who is not familiar with John and his company, John is the guy that gets called in when things like the Jessup's Jewelers clock needs to be repainted, all kinds of historical things around town. John is the guy for that.
But, you know, people often ask, oh, you only do fancy things like the Jessup's clock. That was a once-in-a-lifetime wonderful opportunity. But most of the time, we're painting homes just like yours.
You got it. Right from the horse's mouth, man handles everything from historic to your everyday home. You're here for our series, Paint Like a Pro, where we're going to be teaching homeowners all different kinds of things about painting, starting with how to hire the right contractor.
Exactly. That's the first question people have, is how do you hire the right person to allow into your home?
Right up our alley here at Approved Home Pros. We talk about that all the time.
Yes. Well, you know, the first thing is talk to your friends and neighbors. Also, get an idea of what it is you want to do, so that when you're telling people what you want to do, whether it's painting cabinets, refinishing handrails, repainting windows and doors, doing the outside of the house, that you're letting your friends and neighbors know what it is you're looking for so that they can advise you.
And that's important because you want to make sure that the contractor that you're interviewing or talking to has a correct understanding of what it is you're asking them to do.
Exactly. And then when you do call a contractor, make sure that they're responding properly, responding in a timely manner, that appointments are being set in a professional manner, and when the appointment happens, they show up on time and ready. The important thing about meeting with the contractor face-to-face is you get a lot of sense of the character of the person.
Oh, absolutely.
There's so many areas in painting and in contracting in general where you can cut corners. So you want to get a sense of the character of the person that you're dealing with.
And I know you're not this way, but painting is one of those notorious professions for, you know, maybe not the most professionalism or not always the most top-notch service.
Yeah, how do you know if 2 coats got put on? You don't really.
Right, unless you were there watching every...
So one way to cover yourself on that is when you do get a written proposal, there's a second thing. You need a written proposal that's very specific on what the contractor is going to be doing for you, number of coats, amount of prep, how the paint is going to be applied, whether it's brushing, rolling, spraying, or maybe spraying and then going back with a roller.
Even that specific?
That specific, yes. And to get back to that warranty, that's how you get a written warranty that is for a reasonable amount of time, and that's going to give you the assurance that you're getting the number of coats and getting the specifications that you ask the contractor to give you.
Okay, so you should be meeting with your contractor and you should be making sure you get that written proposal.
Yes, yes. And the proposal should also stipulate that the contractor's using their employees or using subcontractors. Sometimes when you hire a general contractor, subcontractors involved, and it's to be expected. But with painting contractors, sometimes you think you're getting their employees, but sometimes that doesn't happen. So it's got to be very specific. And you want to make sure that they have the proper insurances and licenses.
Oh, of course. We're big on those.
Yeah, now the license, anybody who's involved with a home pro show is licensed.
You bet. We've done that research for you.
Oh, yeah. So, but if you're getting quotes from other people, make sure you go to the State Contractors License Board website, and that'll tell you whether they have the license and that they have the proper liability insurance. But you do need to check to see if they have workers' comp insurance. That's so that if you have an employee on a job site, they get hurt, that you're not liable.
And of course, at Approved Home Pros, we've checked those for you. So when you're hiring a pro like John Peak, you can always rest assured that those are all tucked away in order.
You know, a last thing I want to tell you is look at the truck that the person shows up in. Is it clean, neat, and orderly?
We're going to cut to your truck right now just so that people can see.
And if there are tools in it, are they neatly placed and packed? That's an indication of the type of work that you're going to get on your house, that the person's a craftsman.
Well, so our successful episode, I'd say, in our first edition of Paint Like a Pro. Definitely stay tuned in the future for more of these where John's going to give tips on painting for yourself, hiring more contractors. We've got everything with John. He's an expert in the painting field, and that's why he is our painting pro. If you have questions, need a little paint done at your own house, give John a call today at 619-202-1158. Back to you guys in the studio.